My fiancé laughed. My work husband buys me lunch every day. You should try harder. I said, fair point. Then I mailed her work husband a thank you card and a $100 Starbucks gift card for looking after her. Her next call from HR, and she wasn't laughing anymore. I, Ryan, 33 male, am a forensic auditor. My entire job is to look at chaos and find the pattern. I find the single misplaced number in a billion-dollar spreadsheet that exposes a lie. It's a useful skill. It's just a shame it took me so long to run an audit on my own life. Chloe, 29, and I had been together for 4 years. We'd been engaged for 6 months. We lived together in my townhouse, the one I owned. I was paying for the wedding. I was the stable provider, the reliable one, the one who made sure the bills were paid and the future was secure. The first 3 years were good, standard stuff. Then, about 8 months ago, she got a big promotion, senior sales executive at a high-flying, publicly traded tech firm. I was proud of her, but the new job changed her. Or maybe it just revealed her. It started with the name David. David was her new boss, the senior VP of global sales, a married man in his late 40s. Suddenly, it was all David. David thinks my sales strategy is brilliant. David took the whole President's Club team to a Michelin star dinner. David says, I'm his top protege. I'm not an insecure guy. But the sheer volume was a lot. Then the mentor joke started. My work mentor David is buying me designer shoes just for hitting quota. I was funding our wedding. She was bragging about another man buying her shoes. The red flags were starting to look like a parade. Last week we were at dinner, a place I picked and I paid for. She was on her phone most of the time, smiling at texts. Good day at work, I asked. Amazing, she said, not looking up. David just approved my spring bonus, and he's taking the inner circle to Napa for the weekend, just to celebrate the quarter. I paused. The inner circle, just. You and him, she scoffed. No, God, don't be weird. It's like 4 of us. It's networking. It's what you do to get ahead. I tried to talk to her. Babe, a weekend trip with your married boss is a little much, don't you think? She finally put her phone down. She rolled her eyes. She gave me that look of pity. Oh, stop. Don't be one of those jealous boyfriends. You wouldn't understand. You just sit and look at spreadsheets all day. This is how high performers build relationships. There's a certain arrogance to people whose jobs are based on perception. People in sales, in marketing, in networking, they forget that the world is built on things that are real, on concrete, on code, on numbers that must add up. They deal in images and charisma, I deal in facts, and they seem to forget that facts always win. She smirked. Honestly, Ryan, my mentor is flying me to Napa. You need to step up. All the little red flags, all the dismissive comments, all the late-night team texts, they all clicked into place. My job is to find the lie. And the lie I was assessing right now was that my fiancé was at best emotionally cheating on me. At worst, I was the clueless idiot funding her life while she was auditioning for a new one. And she wasn't just doing it, she was mocking me for it. A weird calm washed over me. The hurt was there, but it was underneath a thick layer of clarity. My audit had begun. The rest of dinner was quiet. I just ate my meal and planned. The next morning, I was in my element. This was my battlefield. I made coffee. I sat at my desk. The audit began. Step 1, identify all parties. David's full name was on her company's website. A quick search found his wife's very public Instagram profile. Pictures of their 2 kids, a lovely home in the suburbs. She was the innocent party. The other victim, I saved her name. Step 2, find the weapon. Chloe's company is a publicly traded SaaS giant. They are legally required to post their corporate governance policies online for investors. I found it in 10 minutes. The 80-page Code of Conduct and Ethics portal, a beautifully detailed PDF. I'm a fast reader. I skipped the fluff about corporate values and went straight to the section on personal relationships and conflicts of interest. And there it was, the aha moment. It was ironclad. Any romantic or personal relationship between a manager and a direct subordinate is a critical conflict of interest and strictly prohibited. It got better. It specified that even the appearance of such a relationship could result in an immediate investigation and disciplinary action. And then the final nail. It also specifically mentioned that managers giving or receiving excessive personal gifts or benefits to subordinates was a fireable offense. They had built the entire trap themselves. All the parts were sitting right there on the table. They just needed someone to assemble them. I went online. I ordered a $100 bottle of champagne, not cheap, not extravagant, a supportive price. Then I ordered a very professional embossed thank you card, cream-colored, heavy cardstock. I paid extra for next-day delivery to his home, address the one I found on the public property register. When the card arrived, I took out my best pen. I wrote in my neatest, most earnest handwriting. Every word was a scalpel. Dear Mrs. Wife's name, I started. I'm writing to send a small, sincere thank you for all the support your family has been giving my fiancée, Chloe. She mentions your husband, David, all the time, especially how he's been kind enough to mentor her, buy her gifts, and now this amazing weekend trip to Napa. I paused, making sure the key terms were clear. Gifts, weekend trip. In this busy world, it's just wonderful to know she has such a supportive team looking out for her. Thanks for taking such good care of her. I signed it. All the best, Ryan, my last name, Chloe's fiancé. I put the card with the receipt for the champagne into the envelope. I mailed it on Tuesday. The trap was set. The rest of the week was quiet. I was polite but distant. She didn't seem to notice. She was too busy planning for Napa. Friday, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm in the middle of analyzing a client's third-quarter ledger. My phone, face down on my desk, starts to vibrate. It doesn't stop. I pick it up. A wall of green text bubbles, all from Chloe. Call me right now. What did you do? Ryan, I am not kidding. What did you do? A new text pops up. David is in an emergency meeting with legal and HR. And another. His wife called them. She called his boss. She has your card. They are canceling the Napa trip. They are calling me in. I read the texts one by one. I felt nothing. Just quiet. The final column in my audit was adding up perfectly. I silenced my phone. I put it face down on my desk. I waited 1 full minute. Then I picked it up and texted back. In a deep audit. Can't talk. What's up? I finished my workday at 5. I packed my briefcase. I drove home slowly. I listened to a podcast about economic history. The contrast was satisfying. Her world was on fire. I was learning about the 1923 German hyperinflation. I got to my townhouse. Her car was parked, crooked in the driveway, one wheel on the grass. I walked in. She was standing in the living room, still in her full corporate sales armor, the sharp blazer, the expensive shoes, but her face was pale and blotchy. She'd been crying. Ryan, she shrieked, the second she saw me. What did you do? I calmly took off my jacket. I hung it in the closet. I set my briefcase down on the floor. Hi, babe. Rough day. Don't rough day me. I was called into an emergency meeting with HR, with our head of legal. David was on a video call, and he looked like he was going to be sick. Oh no, I said. My voice was level full of feigned confusion. Why? What happened? They had a card, Ryan, a thank you card from you, with a receipt for champagne? Why would you do that? Why would you send that to his wife? I just looked at her. I did what I said I would, I said. I thanked them. You said he was generous. You said he was buying you gifts and flying you to Napa. I was just being polite, showing my appreciation. I paused. Stepping up, like you said. You idiot, she screamed, and her composure finally beautifully cracked. You don't do that. You don't send evidence. You don't write it down. He's my manager. It's against policy. They think. Her voice trailed off. They think what Chloe asked. My voice was quiet. They think there's something going on between us. I just looked at her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't have to. I let the silence hang in the air for a few seconds. Then I asked the question, is there Chloe? She froze. The blood drained from her face. She finally understood. This wasn't a blunder. This wasn't an overeager fiancé being weird. This was an audit. You, she sputtered. Her voice was a whisper now. You did this on purpose. You're trying to ruin my career. No, Chloe, I said. I was still quiet. You did this. You and David. You're the ones who violated an 80-page company policy. You're the ones who disrespected our relationship for months. I took a step closer. I just turned the light on. I'm just a guy who sent a polite thank you note. What happens next is a direct consequence of your own actions, not mine. She stared at me, her mind racing. I could see her trying to find a new angle, a new way to spin this, to make me the bad guy. Ryan, please, she tried. Her voice changed, becoming a plea. You have to fix this. You have to call them. Call HR and tell them. Tell them you're just a clueless, overeager boyfriend. Tell them you misunderstood. Please, Ryan. They've suspended me. I'm suspended, pending investigation. Suspended, I asked, raising an eyebrow. Wow, they're taking a $100 bottle of champagne really seriously. Must be a very strict policy. Ryan, please, I'll lose my job, I'll lose everything. No, I said. It was quiet, but it was final. I will not be lying to a corporation's legal department for you. This investigation is between you, David, and your HR department. I'm not involved. I walked to the hall closet and pulled out her spare suitcase. I tossed it on the sofa. And since you're suspended, you'll have plenty of time to pack. I want you out. Tonight, her face went from pale to red. What? You can't? You can't kick me out? I have nowhere to go? What about my apartment? Your apartment, I said. You mean the luxury city apartment I co-signed the lease for, the one I put the security deposit on? I shook my head. I thought the story was over when she left sobbing and dragging her suitcase down my front walk. But the betrayal was just Act 1. The real climax was what came next. I call it the entitlement cascade. It started, as it always does, with the enablers. Monday night, I'm cleaning out her stuff from the bathroom. My phone rings. An unknown number. I answer. Hello. A deep, gravelly voice. The kind of voice that's used to people jumping when it speaks. Is this Ryan? This is Robert, Chloe's father. Son, I think you and I need to have a chat. Robert is a senior partner at a massive downtown law firm, the kind of firm that has its name on buildings. He didn't waste time. You've made a terrible, terrible mistake. You've put my daughter's career in jeopardy over some petty, childish jealousy. I've just reviewed the file. You have committed, quite clearly, tortious interference with a business relationship. And I'd say defamation as well. He wanted me to be scared. I wasn't. I was an auditor. I just listened. He continued, so here's what you're going to do. You are going to call Chloe's head of HR tomorrow morning. You are going to explain in no uncertain terms that you are emotionally unstable, that you are prone to jealous delusions, and that you fabricated this entire misunderstanding. You will apologize for wasting their time. You will clear my daughter's name. The sheer audacity. He wanted me to lie, to tank my own reputation, to save his daughter, who was, well, you know. Mr. Last Name, I said calmly. With all due respect, no. The line was silent. I don't think he gets told no very often. I will not be lying to a corporation's legal department to cover for your daughter's behavior. If a simple, polite thank you note is enough to detonate her entire career, then the problem isn't the note. It's what she was doing to deserve it. I'm sorry for her situation. Goodbye. I hung up before he could respond. He called back twice. I didn't answer. I called my own lawyer. I forwarded him the details. My lawyer, Ben, laughed. He sent a response back to Robert's firm on his own letterhead. It was a thing of beauty. It basically said, our client, Mr. The next day, the text started. This time from her friend, Megan. A wall of them. Ryan, you are an actual monster. Chloe is destroyed. She's on the verge of a breakdown. She's going to lose everything because your fragile ego couldn't handle her being successful. And now she's going to lose her apartment. Her payment is due in 3 days and she can't afford it because you got her suspended. She's going to be homeless. I hope you're happy. I read that last text and my stomach dropped. Her apartment, the silver high-rise luxury apartment, the one I co-signed the lease for. When we got engaged, she said she needed a better place to live than my townhouse, but the lease on my place wasn't up. So we got her the apartment as a transition spot. Her credit was shot. I was stupid and in love, so I co-signed. I was the primary on the lease. If she missed a payment, it would destroy my credit. This wasn't even revenge. This was financial self-preservation. I called the leasing company. I explained the situation calmly. I am the primary leaseholder. The co-signer, who has possession of the unit, has just been terminated from her job, has vacated my residence, and has informed me via a third party that she cannot make the upcoming payment. I am no longer comfortable with her having access to the property. I need to invoke the early termination clause. It was expensive. It cost me 2 months' rent, a penalty of $6,000, but it got my name off the lease. It secured my credit. Chloe received a 72-hour notice to vacate from the building management. She was now officially unemployed and in 3 days homeless. This was the main event. This past Saturday, I'm cleaning my townhouse, enjoying the quiet. A loud, aggressive knock on my door. I look through the peephole. A police officer. My heart hammered for a second. I opened the door. "Officer, can I help you?" "Sir, are you Ryan, my last name?" Sent one unsolicited thank you gift in a good faith gesture of appreciation. The subsequent employment repercussions for your client were a direct result of her own behavior. Your client's damages are the natural consequence of her own actions. Any further frivolous legal action or threats will be met with a motion for sanctions against your firm for harassment and abuse of process. We haven't heard a peep from Robert since. The next day, the text started. This time from her friend Megan, a wall of them. "Ryan, you are an actual monster. Chloe is destroyed. She's on the verge of a breakdown. She's going to lose everything because your fragile ego couldn't handle her being successful. And now she's going to lose her apartment. Her payment is due in 3 days, and she can't afford it because you got her suspended. She's going to be homeless. I hope you're happy." I read that last text and my stomach dropped. Her apartment, the silver high-rise luxury apartment, the one I co-signed the lease for. When we got engaged, she said she needed a better place to live than my townhouse, but the lease on my place wasn't up. So we got her the apartment as a transition spot. Her credit was shot. I was stupid and in love, so I co-signed. I was the primary on the lease. If she missed a payment, it would destroy my credit. This wasn't even revenge. This was financial self-preservation. I called the leasing company. I explained the situation calmly. I am the primary leaseholder. The co-signer who has possession of the unit has just been terminated from her job, has vacated my residence, and has informed me via a third party that she cannot make the upcoming payment. I am no longer comfortable with her having access to the property. I need to invoke the early termination clause. It was expensive. It cost me 2 months' rent, a penalty of $6,000, but it got my name off the lease. It secured my credit. Chloe received a 72-hour notice to vacate from the building management. She was now officially unemployed and in 3 days homeless. This was the main event. This past Saturday, I'm cleaning my townhouse, enjoying the quiet. A loud, aggressive knock on my door. I look through the peephole. A police officer. My heart hammered for a second. I opened the door. "Officer, can I help you?" "Sir, are you Ryan?" "Yes, I'm here to conduct a civil standby. A Miss Chloe is here to retrieve her personal property. She's concerned you won't allow her access." I looked past him. There on the sidewalk was Chloe smirking. Next to her was her father, Robert, looking like he was about to foreclose on my life. This was their big final move. They were trying to use the police to intimidate me, to get a win. "Oh, absolutely, officer," I said, all calm and reasonable. "I'm happy to help. I've actually had all her belongings boxed up and waiting for her for 2 weeks. She just never arranged a time to get them." I opened my door wider. Right there in my foyer were 12 neatly taped cardboard boxes. The officer nodded. "Okay, ma'am, you can come and retrieve your boxes." Chloe's smirk vanished. This wasn't the plan. She wanted a scene. She wanted to come in. "That's not all," she said, marching up the walkway. "My most valuable things are still in there. He's withholding them." The officer looked at me. "Sir." "Officer, every single thing she owns is in those boxes. Clothes, makeup books." "He's lying," Chloe interrupted. "My $5,000 modern art painting is in the study. It's priceless. He's keeping it." Robert stepped forward, placing his hand on his chest. "Officer, my daughter is right. This man is holding a valuable piece of her property hostage. I was ready for this. I had run the audit." "Officer," I said calmly, "are you referring to the abstract painting in the study, the large one with the blue /" "Yes," Chloe shouted. "My painting, the one he bought for me?" "You mean I said the one I bought from the Saatchi Art online gallery in August 2023? I pulled out my phone. I went to my email. I typed Saatchi Art receipt. "Here you go, officer." I handed him my phone. He looked at it. There was the credit card receipt, $5,000, on my American Express. My name, my card, My billing address, not a gift, not hers. The officer read it. He nodded. His entire demeanor changed. That beautiful, beautiful moment of third-party validation. He handed my phone back. He was done. "Ma'am," he said to Chloe, his voice suddenly firm, "this is a civil dispute. Ownership of items is for a judge to decide, not me. It's not theft if he has a receipt. My job here is to make sure you get your undisputed personal property and leave. I am not here for a painting." Robert started to bluster. "Officer, I don't think you understand who I am." The officer cut him off. "Sir, I understand you're a citizen who needs to stay on the sidewalk while your daughter gets her boxes, unless you want me to call my sergeant down here for interfering." Robert turned a shade of purple I had never seen before. Chloe looked like she was going to spontaneously combust. She was forced to stand there in front of a cop while her powerful father and her silently loaded boxes of her shoes and jackets into the back of his Mercedes. As they were leaving, she turned for one last shot. "You will regret this for the rest of your life, Ryan." I just looked at her. "I already regret the last 4 years, Chloe, but I'm feeling better about the future." I nodded to the cop. "Thanks for your time, officer. Appreciate you keeping things orderly." He just tipped his cap. "Have a good day, sir." I shut the door, I locked it, and for the first time in a long, long time, I actually laughed. The final ledger. The audit was complete. The dust settled and I started to hear the final reports. David, the senior VP of global sales, was demoted. He was stripped of his title, his team, and all his unvested stock options. He's still at the company, but he's in a basement office in the compliance department, a corporate purgatory. His wife, as expected, filed for divorce and is taking him for everything. Chloe was terminated for cause. Gross misconduct, violation of the company's code of conduct. She lost her job. She lost her apartment. I heard from Megan one last hateful text that Chloe had to move back in with her parents in Ohio. And then the secondary twist, the one I didn't even plan for. David's wife wasn't just divorcing him, she was also filing a separate civil suit against Chloe for alienation of affection. It's a real thing in some states. And her primary piece of evidence, her Exhibit A, was my innocent, polite $100 thank you note. The audit was closed. The numbers were all in the red. For them, as for me, there was a cost. I was out $6,000 for the apartment lease termination. It's easy to look at that as a loss. $6,000 is a lot of money, but it's important to understand the cost of extraction. When you have a parasite, you don't negotiate with it. You don't try to teach it a lesson. You pay whatever it costs to have it surgically and completely removed from your life. That $6,000 wasn't a loss. It was a fee. It was the price of liberation. It was the cost of buying back my peace of mind, my home, and my future. And frankly, it was a bargain. It wasn't a penalty. It was the best money I ever spent. A week later, I sold that priceless $5,000 painting. I got $4,000 for it on an online art market. So, the total net cost to extract a 4-year parasite from my life, $2,000. I'll take that deal every single time. My townhouse is quiet now. It feels like my space again. I'm at peace. In the end, Chloe and David didn't face my revenge. They faced an audit. They had built a life on lies, arrogance, and spreadsheets they couldn't balance. I just sent one thank you note, and the numbers didn't lie. The silent strategist knows that the best victory is when your opponent defeats themselves. Let me know in the comments what's the most innocent piece of evidence you've seen bring down a house of cards. Be sure to subscribe for more strategic checkmates.